Hello,
Cool.
everybody. I'm Jonathan Stallick. I'm a registered professional homeopath, and I'm delighted to welcome Monique Moore, who has come very kindly along to share her story of her experience of ulcerative colitis, if I can say it, and her experience of how homeopathy affected and helped her. So. Monique, thanks for coming along. Um, so, do you want to start by saying a little bit about ulcerative colitis and how, the symptoms and what your experience of that was before homeopathy?
Sure. Thanks, Jonathan, and thanks for having me. Um, I was diagnosed in August of 2024, so pretty much bang on 2 years ago. Um, the reason I got diagnosed was because of the typical symptoms of ulcerative colitis that those of you who have it will know. So it's an inflammatory bowel disease. It's quite debilitating. It's quite tricky to handle. And I didn't really know what was going on. So I started down the medical route, but quite quickly realized that that wasn't the route for me. So if that helps you,
Can I interrupt you? How did ulcerative colitis affect your life? I mean, how did it limit you? In what ways did it limit you?
well, typically for me anyway, I landed up having to have increased access to toilets. I didn't know what was going on. I don't actually remember exactly why I was diagnosed, but I was definitely going through the typical symptoms. So bloatedness, blood in the stool, things like that, that kind of made me worry. So that was how I think I landed up going to see a gastroenterologist in the first place.
I mean, I remember you saying that you could hardly go out because you had to be near a toilet. It was
That-
really limiting your
Initially, it wasn't
movement.
so bad, but it got worse and worse and worse.
Right,
Um, and actually, it got worse and worse and worse as I was on Western medical treatment.
right.
So, this disease isn't linear, as you know, because we've been working together. So, it started in kind of a way that didn't totally know what was happening, and then it kind of ramped up and became, as you say, quite incapacitating. Um,
What was the worst? What were things like when at their worst?
Well, as you said, I couldn't leave the house. I wasn't able to exercise. I just needed to be close to a facility
Yeah,
um, pretty much all the time because I just didn't know what was going to happen. So it really did affect my life. I think not only the access to facilities, but also fatigue, because when you're losing that amount of blood that often,
right.
it has an impact on your energy and also on your mood. So,
Yes,
I think that was hard. Also, I'm one of life's stalwarts, so I kept on going, tried to carry on doing my job, and it was quite a big admission for me to say, actually, I can't manage. So that was not great. But yeah, so I'd like to explain the rest of my journey so people understand that there is hope.
yeah.
So yeah, but that was how it was for
So
me.
what led you to homeopathy? Because I know you saw before you excuse me, before you saw me, you'd seen, I think, another homeopath. Yeah.
Yeah, so actually it wasn't homeopathy that I went to in the first instance, but I'm very glad that I did. In the first case, what I did is I decided. So firstly, just to say that I decided not to pursue the Western medicine because I didn't think that it was helping me. So I had been on steroids for most of a year before I contacted a functional medical doctor.
Mhm.
And it was very important to me that she was a medical doctor rather than a not. And as it happened, she was studying in homeopathy, and she was the one who encouraged me to go to homeopath because she believed in, well, she does believe, she's not gone, she believes in
Yes.
in the power of homeopathy. So together, Anna and I worked on building up my immunity, but at the same time, we were looking to try and I didn't just go off the drugs. So I was trying to build up my system whilst I was on the drugs and trying to get off the drugs, which I managed to do with the help of an of a previous homeopath. But it was it was kind of like I think I've used the word with you. It felt like to me like I was teetering on health. It wasn't very robust. Um, and I think to those people out there who've got ulcerative colitis, it's, for me anyway, it's not like a straight line. Sometimes you will be healthy and well, and sometimes you will not feel so healthy and well, and
Mm.
that's okay.
But
But what I
when you actually
found,
when you came to me,
yes, I wasn't
you
well.
were in a pretty sorry state, weren't you?
Yeah, and I wasn't very well emotionally either. So when I came to you, I had finished with the previous homeopath, or we'd run the course. And what I was looking for was somebody to take me to the next sort of level of wellness. And when I chatted to you, what I was looking for was somebody to tell me that they weren't going to just go on the standard course. And I can say hand on heart, you haven't done that. You've definitely gone into different areas. And I think I think this disease is emotional. And Jonathan, I think you took me where I was at. So yeah, I think for me the journey with you has been it's actually been very different because you're quite I think of you as quite focused and you look at the person where they're at and you give them what they need, but I think you give them out of the box what they need, and I think that's very useful. Um,
Well, I think just to say, one of the things about homeopathy, and in a way, one of the not the difficulties, but the aspects is actually knowing what needs healing. What is it that, because conventional medicine often just takes quite a superficial view and just looks at the symptoms. But of course, we know that things go often a lot deeper, and the whole sort of history, your whole life history, and the whole, who you are is all part of the thing. One can't
Absolutely.
really, in real life, separate the emotions and the mental and the physical.
Yeah.
So maybe that ties into
It
that.
does, absolutely. It absolutely does. And I think what's really important for people to understand is in my opinion, before I started with homeopathy, I thought it was a bit of a tree hugger thing. It was kind of like, oh, okay, well, we'll
Yeah,
try it, give it a whirl. And I'm not really that kind of person, but I
right.
can absolutely say that it's changed my life. It's helped me.
Exactly.
So even if you thinking about it as one modality, try it because there's nothing to lose. And in my case, it was everything to gain. So where I am now, I am in remission. I haven't had a flare for a while. That doesn't mean that, as I said, it's not a straight line, but I've definitely in a strong situation. And Jonathan and I are working from going from good to great rather than trying to stop
Yeah,
me.
I mean, I would say homeopathy is a process. I mean, I always say to patients, clients, when they come, don't come once and think, that's going to be, you're going to get the magic pill and then that's it. Because sometimes it is a bit like layers of an onion.
Of
I
course,
mean, people have long lives that have a whole sort of lot of traumas and all kinds of events and things have happened, and so one has to sometimes work through that.
of
So,
course.
but
I,
actually,
I,
we've been working together for about 5 months, just to put it into context. And
exactly.
so this is where we got to. So yeah, people can
So
see.
yeah, so it's not a long time actually in the face of things. And as you said, when you're dealing with things at its root, then you need to take that time. So I think part of this is what's important to understand is if you're working with Jonathan or any homeopath, you need to give them time because it's not a silver bullet, it's not a one-hit wonder, and you are part of the process of healing. So if you don't want to do the work, then it makes their job so much harder. So I have been very invested. There are other things that I've done, and but in terms of homeopathy, it has been very important in terms of my journey to health, and I hope to
What
continue
were the changes actually after you started homeopathy? What did you notice?
with you, or
Yeah,
just in
with me.
general
Yeah.
with you. Um, Yeah, so when I first came to see you, I was in a bit of an emotional state.
Mm.
Um, so I think you kind of picked up on that. So you supported me on that and helped me to get some more resources just to be able to cope with life. I think that was really important. And
In
then
fact, just to again put in context, I think the first remedy I gave you actually didn't touch the actual physical symptoms, but
no,
it did affect you emotionally and your confidence. And I remember you coming back and seeming did like
very
quite different.
different.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was the first thing.
And I think that's important because if you are emotionally depleted or feeling so low, it's quite difficult to then
Mm,
operate
mm.
operate in any other kind of level. So I think that was very intuitive. Um, and then the subsequent remedies that you've given me have I think they've been a little bit off the beaten track, if I understand correctly. They haven't been the standard, and that's been quite reassuring because the first work I did with homeopathy was, as far as I understand, was quite using quite standard stuff, which is fine. It worked well, and I certainly made some progress. But I think with you, I think we've only done about three or four remedies to kind of do multiple hops, if you know what if I mean. So it almost feels as though there's been quite a pincered, which is why I said you're quite focused. So quite a pincered approach. So I haven't had to take, um, 5, 6, 7 different remedies. It's been very thoughtful. And yeah, I feel like I can go for a walk without worrying about whether I need to bring leaf paper. I
Amazing,
can,
isn't it?
I
Isn't that?
can, yeah. And I'm on the way to, like, my job is in sales. I'm now able to think about traveling without having a complete meltdown.
Yeah.
Whether that, like, I'm really hoping that that just continues, but I know that you are going to be there with me and we'll figure it out
I think
as we go.
the other thing that is just clear and obvious is that you seem much better. I mean, obviously, when the physical symptoms get better, you're going to feel better. But there's a change in your confidence, I'd say, particularly in yourself. I don't know whether that feels correct, but you seem much more confident, less affected by the different emotions that cross our paths, and
Yeah, I
to
do
deal with
feel.
these in a better way.
Yeah, I think it's multifold. So for me, I think um, you're right. I do feel more robust. Why do I feel more robust? I feel more robust because in myself, I feel more robust in my physical self.
Mm.
I feel more robust because I have the right level of support in you. I feel like I feel hopeful that there is a way out of this. And I think for a lot of ulcerative colitis, um, people who've got ulcerative colitis, there is no hope. And they often turn only to Western medicine because
Yeah,
what else are they going to do?
yeah,
And I think I'm here to say that there is another way. It's Yes, you're going to annoy your medical doctors because you're going to tell them, no, I don't want to put immunosuppressants in my body for the rest of my life. But actually, there's another way. And you've
yeah.
helped me see that. And I think the mental side, the stress, the anxiety side of this autoimmune disease is real. And I think you really helped me. Um, Also, and with respect, you didn't pander to it. It was like, okay, that's where you are. Let's focus on that. And I really appreciated that because I don't want somebody to wallow with me. I want
No,
somebody to help me
no.
move forward. So
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
Well, that's my job. That's the job, isn't it, really, of the therapist is to sort of is to hold the vision basically. And not, yes, obviously, I don't want to get in there with you because that's not going to help
You
anybody.
didn't want to cry with me, did
I didn't
you?
want to cry with you, no, not really. Listen, we've kind of run out of time, but I wanted to say thank you. It's been so helpful and wonderful, and I'm sure people are going to appreciate your story. And yeah, it gives people, as you said, it gives people hope with these inflammatory bowel disease issues. So
And
thanks ever so
Jonathan, if
much.
anybody wants to have a chat, they're more than welcome. Through you, please, to just give me a
Sure.
call. I'm very happy to help anybody. So, and I hope this message leaves a lot of people in a better place.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Monique. Have a lovely day.
Okay, thank you.